Hey guys, CUTTERUP Rob here. Doing a video on brake upgrades for your Dodge truck. So this is going to be for the differentials of a 2000 to 2002 Dodge 2500. Now you can do this upgrade on a 3500 front only. The rear you can't do it on, I don't believe. I'll have to do a little bit of monkeying around with it. It's been a while since I've done one, but I remember doing something, but I can't just remember exactly what it was. It's a few years ago. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about, so for you guys that aren't following the shorty build, this is the shorty build. So it's a regular cab short box, P-Pump 6.7, 48RE, the newer style diffs. So this is the diffs 2000 to 2002. There is a couple differences in the front diffs in those years, but basically the same. And then a Dana 80 rear with disc brakes. What I wanted to talk about is the brake upgrade on these trucks. So personally for me, if I'm doing a build, if you're doing a second gen Dodge truck, I like to use the 2000 to 2002 front and rear diffs. You get different brakes, better ball joints, better brakes, better ball joints, better U-joints. It's easier to do service on the brakes, bigger wheel bearings, that type of stuff. So if you are doing, I would recommend doing, even if you're doing a Dana 70 rear or a Dana 80 rear, then you get disc brakes in the rear as well. So anyways, talk about the actual brake upgrade side of things here. Actually, for you guys, if you guys find value in the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button. I'm constantly doing more videos on this type of stuff and doing the shorty build. We'll be doing a tow truck, a tow rig build this winter. And you know, I talk about Cummins stuff all the time for you guys that are new to the channel. So this is the brake upgrade. So this is the original stuff that comes on those diffs. Like I said, that's what I use. If I'm doing a build, I like using those diffs because you get better stuff out of them and rear disc brake out of the deal. So this is, so they use both use two piston calipers. The pistons are basically the same size within a couple thou of each other. The pistons actually in the second gen brake calipers are actually a couple thou bigger, but a couple thou ain't gonna make much difference. And on these ones, basically the same size, but both two piston caliper. Now the rotors, on the other hand, so the brake upgrade pieces, now we're talking 2500. You can do this front brake on a dually, but I don't know if you can do it on the rear. That'll be something for another video when I do brake upgrade or do brakes on the rear of one of those trucks. I do know a couple guys, so maybe we can do a brake upgrade. But anyways, we're going to talk about this. So this being the upgrade part, this is a factory parts off of a 2003 third gen. Now you can also use on a single wheel, you can use the rear pads, rotors, calipers off of that same 03 single wheel, like 2500, on the rear of one of these trucks, or on the rear of one of these diffs, I should say. So easy upgrade. It literally bolts in there. You only have to modify one thing. I'll get to that in a minute. But there is a little bit of modification involved. So if you want to do this brake upgrade, you need to order stuff for 2003 2500. The caliper bracket, pads, rotors, and calipers. Now, basically the difference is going to be, so if you take, this is the original rotor. This is the original rotor off of the second gen, talking that 2000 to 2002 diff, because they slide on and off. Now, this is the third gen, so you guys will be able to see the difference. So you're over an inch in diameter difference. So you're 13 and 13/16 in diameter versus 12 3/4. So just to give you guys, like, an inch on brakes is, you know, people pay a lot of money for that, and this is basically a straight swap. So to give you an idea, just put it on the edge. That's how much more rotor you're getting out of the deal. So a considerable difference, right? Talking about brakes, it's a considerable difference. So the only thing that you do have to do is, when you're going to this, you will need to get banjo bolts for a third gen, which you can buy from the dealer. You can probably buy them aftermarket too. I usually just buy them from the dealer because they're good bolts, and they're not, I think they're like $7 or $8 each. They're not horribly expensive. I have a bunch laying around, so I just clean them up when I've scrapped lots of them over the years. So what you have to do is the bolt in the 3rd gen is a little bit bigger in diameter. So this is a brake line off of the 2nd gen. For the shorty, I'm putting all the brake lines and everything on it. See how it doesn't fit? That's the problem. So all you have to do is drill this brake line out one size larger, and this will go in. So basically, usually what I do if I'm doing it, I just clamp it with a pair of vice grips, you know, use a cordless drill and rip. I guess you could even use a die grinder if you wanted to, just open it up. I usually just use a drill bit. And if you're putting you know, you're using new lines, which I always recommend changing the lines, but if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. You clamp in the vise, drill your hole one size bigger. Basically just so this banjo bolt will go inside, obviously. So not too big of a deal, but that is one nice thing about it. You can upgrade. Now, one thing you do need to note if you do this is that your 16-inch wheels will no longer fit front or rear. You have to be at least a 17-inch wheel. That's the reason that 3rd gens have to have 17-inch wheels. Unless you got a crazy offset, then you probably could get away with it, but just recommend 17-inch wheels. So if you have, most guys run a 17-inch wheel for the most part, or bigger. So, but sorry about it, guys, thought I had that shut off. Anyways, that is basically the only thing that you have to do. Everything else is going to bolt in. You don't have to change nothing, like I said, but you do have to have a 17-inch wheel. You do need to buy banjo bolts if you're doing it. And you will be buying this for a 2003. Now, this swap will not work on the earlier diffs, so you are forewarned. If you have a 94 to a 99 front diff, this setup will not work, so you cannot do that. There's no upgrade stuff. I shouldn't say there's no upgrade stuff. There's no easy upgrade stuff to that. That's the reason I like going with those different diffs. So anyways, if you guys haven't liked, subscribe, all that stuff, if you find value in the content, please do so. Hit the notification bell, and remember, it's not rocket science.